Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome as the Apex Racing League TCR British Series returns live and exclusive here on Apex Racing TV. Why the authorities spend millions of pounds trying to turn Silverstone into a great circuit when we already have one in Brands Hatch is a mystery to me. Not my words, but the words of the late great Murray Walker, and who could argue? Rated as one of the finest driver circuits to grace the motor racing calendar, Brands Hatch is thankfully little change from its classic format. I'm Tim Cox and we have Smiley Kumo in the production booth. But right now I'm joined by our resident South African here at Apex Racing TV, Johan Garinas. Johan, well, welcome along, and wow, you missed an absolute firecracker last week.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely kicking myself about that one, Tim, but I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the races. And if it is as good as you say it is, I'm definitely going to enjoy tonight. I'm coming over from the open wheeler side, so I'm not used to as much chaos. I'm expecting a bit of rubbing is racing between these drivers. We'll see how much rubbing there is. But it sounds like it's going to be fairly exciting. Brands Hatch, excellent circuit for these cars. Last time I was here was with the South African people. Also driving British touring cars. I was just in Alfa Romeo Giulietta, decked out with Impossibrew Einbrew livery. But yeah, that's a story for a different time. For now, we have the drivers out on circuit for qualifying. Tim, why don't you run us through what's happening at the moment?
Yeah, we'll run you through the championship as well. Qualifying, as you say, well underway, roughly about halfway through at the moment. Eatwell currently and on pole, but let's just take you through the championship standings. And well, Eatwell, as we just mentioned him, he's currently currently out in front, but only 2 points behind him is Shirkov. And then 1 point behind him is Kieran Smart. So close right up at the top, only 3 points separating our top three. Redford, he's one to watch out for. We saw last week him cutting through the field like the perennial hot knife through butter. It's close see with 1 round so far complete. The field really close. Hutchison, Romney, Maroney, Andersons, Neidhart and Smith taking up your top 10. So see now for the AMs as well. Well, Maroney, he's leading the way and by quite a margin already. Some 17 points ahead of Scott Smith in second place. The teammate Manners only 4 points behind in the standings for now. Dominguez, Raftea, Ruggieri, Maniti, Kindness, Winness and Collishaw ran out your top 10, but you can see from that midfield just how close it is. And once again, as we head out onto track, Eatwell currently on provisional pole. See Redford just heading up into third there. Onto the second row of the grid, but not far behind being on the front row. Shirkov only some 1800ths of a second faster. You know it's going to be a close race once more. The Hyundais and the Hondas are going strong here. Don't discredit the Audis, the classic touring car to the iRacing simulator. Expect to see great things, especially from those guys off the start. We know how quick the Audis are, how well that they can launch, and just as we sort of go wait for qualifying to round out and a few of their drivers on their outlaps. Maroney, our leader in AM, he's currently 7th on an outlap right now. Johan, where do you expect to see the action out on track tonight?
So for me, anything past Paddock Hill Bend is going to be action-packed. So of course they're right at the start of the race, but then of course we've got that classic Druids just after that. So the first, I'd say 4 corners: Paddock Hill Bend, Druids, Surtees. I left out Graham Hill Bend, but all of that is fairly action-packed. And then once you go through that back straight through Pilgrim's Drop, that's a bit more relaxed. Hawthorne Bend, people don't tend to do things through there. There's not enough space really through that last sector of the track. And then once you get to Stirling's, that's the penultimate corner, then things start to heat up again. People start shuffling for position down the main straight. And then down Clearways and Clark Curve, you'll see people getting ready for the Braham Straight, the pit straight. So, yeah, I think it will probably be straight from the get-go. But with these cars, of course, you can find action almost anywhere on the track. But I do think that first sector will be the concentrated one.
I think so. And you say about potentially seeing not too much action into Hawthorne Bend and through that sort of section Westfield. As we saw last week, places where we thought there probably wouldn't be overtakes, we saw people taking it round the outside, the inside, all manner of creative lines and getting moves done into places where we just wouldn't expect action. And I'm sure today it's going to be no different whatsoever. Great to see currently on pole in Eatwell, still holding that pole position for now. Shirkov, he was on pole last time out. He's currently in second. Redford, he joined him on the front row. Still currently occupying third. Eatwell, it's on an outlap. Expect to see him improve his time undoubtedly. Just having a little look up and down the field. Improvements happening all over. Drivers get warmed up and get prepared for. It's going to be yet again another absolute firecracker of a round. Of course, we're racing the longer GP circuit here at Brands Hatch today, some 2.4 miles or 3.9 kilometres, if you prefer it in the metric system. Well worth mentioning that the series is 3 sponsors. First of all, it's Virtual Racing School. If you're looking to improve your on-track performance with 50 plus data packs for road and oval racing, setups, track guides, data analysis software, and they have one-on-one coaching sessions as well. We've got SDK Gaming. If you're looking to add a live virtual HUD to iRacing, show timing towers, enhance relative boxes, mini-maps. Nice. And also use it for broadcasting your own leagues. And it's the software that we use here at Apex. for all of our broadcasting. You can also use it for fuel calculators as well, to find out where you're going to come out after your pit stop. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most complete overlays for iRacing. And of course, our final sponsor is Apex Racing Academy. They have 29 data pack setups, track guides, integration with Virtual Racing School, one of our other sponsors, weekly group coaching sessions, and much, much more. Around about 2.5 minutes left here of qualifying, and just having a little look at the timing sheets. Nobody seems to be improving too much. We see Shirkov unable to improve there. He's headed to the pit, so looks like qualifying is over for the Russian now, and unless Redford can beat him, or maybe even the other drivers can take the fight to him. Going to start on the front row with Eatwell as it stands at the moment, but like I say, Johan, doesn't look like anyone's improving out on track at the moment.
And I think if I just look at the grid there, Maroney is definitely someone that's hoping that no one improves too much from their current standings. I mean, that's a buffer of 4 cars in the pro category behind you. If you can keep them behind you, that might serve you quite well for the championship fight for the AM category. I can probably imagine that he's very happy with that qualifying time.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, on the 5th row of the grid, as you said, as you saw Ward just improving by a place there. He's displacing Jetson Edgerson's to head up into 12th. As Hutchison just sneaks in a cracking lap there to head up into 5th. The Northern Irishman, a great lap from him. So I was just mentioning about Maroney. See on screen right now, he's been spaced down the place, still on that 5th row of the grid. He's got Nihart for company right now, and still got that 3-car buffer between himself and the other AM drivers to see him run wide there. That's into Sterling's, and that's going to be his qualifying done and dusted. Just having a look, it doesn't look, it might actually get away with that one, because it doesn't look like the drivers around him are improving right now. And as it stands right now, looks like we're going to pretty much form up on the grid as per the standings are. Of course, we've got the 3 different manufacturers, Honda, Hyundai and Audi. Interesting to see how they all get on. It's good to see, of course, the Honda's known for their straight line speed. Hyundai's great all-rounder, but the Audis are great off the start, and Nihart, he's the top Audi driver, and expect to see great things from him off the start. If he can hook it up, he'll be launching it all the way down to Paddock Hill Bend, turn 1, to get ahead and make up a couple of places. The usual protagonists. Of course, that's Dennis Nihart. He's the driver. We've got 2 of those. So likewise, we've got 2 Redfords as well, 2 Edgersons. A real family affair. But let's just run you through your grid. As we mentioned, Eatwell, he's on pole with pole sitter from the last race, Shirkov. Alongside him, Real Redford. There's Dennis Nihart alongside for company. The 3rd row is Hutchison and Romy. Coleman and Smart make up the 4th row of the grid, and Dennis Nihart, he is in 9th with top qualifier in the AMS, Maroney. Adjusons has Ward for company on the 6th row. It's moving through the field. We've then got Jetson Adjusons with Paul Collishaw alongside. There's an all-Italian row with Gudici and Rigeri, followed by Redford and Smith. Raffatea, he's got Ian Manners alongside him. Greg Hubler is paired up with David Gill. Dominguez and Niferi make up 23rd and 24th place. Roberto Di Felipe has Adam Kindness with him. Bellini and Maniti, Coles, Lewandowski, Walsh and Glasgow, Stuart Winness, Clist, Brown and Gunoli. And then finally, Brian Vorse rounds out your field here for round 2 of the championship. From Brands Hatch, and just waiting for the drivers to take to the grid, and we'll be off racing. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute another entertaining evening of racing once more. 2 races for you this evening, 2 25-minute races, a little bit different to last week where we had 3 15-minute races. The top 12 race 2, they are inverted from their race results, so the 12th position will start on pole. It's worth keeping everyone half an eye out for. Waiting for the last few drivers to take to the grid. We'll be away, and I think maybe even a few of them might be looking to start from the pits, potentially waiting on about 6 of our drivers. Here come the lights. Let's get ready. Go racing at Brands Hatch of round 2. And we're away. And it's a clean start from everyone, but what sort of start can Heenhard get? He's on the outside. I think he's already made up one place. A blinding start by the Audi as he looks to head round the outside of Paddock Hill, but Ewell's got a blinding start in the Honda, dragging up the hills. The Hyundai scrapping up of Redford and Sherkov, and all this contact between them. And that's Redford. He's sent out wide through Druids there, and he's rejoined right in the middle of the pack. It looks like everyone else has relatively got away cleanly. And Redford now having to pick his way back through the field, as we've seen him do so many times before. A flash of the lights there, just in the background there for one of the cars. But here come the Hyundai's absolutely ganging up right now on Maroney, who's got a great start. He's up one place as the AM driver. He's got 4 pros in between himself and Collishaw, who's second in class right now. But here comes Hutchinson as he sneaks through there to get into place ahead of Coleman. Hyundai's fighting out once more. Oh no, we've got someone off the track there. I think, is that that's David Gill there. He's off. That is not very happy. Oh no, there's lots of cars up here. We've got a couple of the Hyundais there. Is it all of one field through? I think that's Mark Redford there. Will's father, as he falls right through the order. And it's all happening here on lap 1, Johan.
Honestly, I can't even keep up with what's going on the screen. So Redford here, unfortunately contact there and just getting all out of shape and collecting the cars there. And got a tire all the way to the camera. It's a rough start. I honestly didn't expect this level of chaos. So quite a few drivers already out of the race. Smith here also fighting for his position through Paddock Hill Bend.
Dara Adris says he was the Hyundai in the foreground there. They just lost it all by himself. So they headed around Westfield, and you see now the 2 Audis of Raffaele Guiducci fighting it out. The 2 Italians who spent they work together, running really, really wide. You could run really wide through there, but maybe not quite that wide, as you see Nevery in the Honda. He's in the background there, running even wider, more so than what the Audi did. And we've just lost one of them, Raffaele. He's run wide there into Surtees. And Johan, you said we had to watch out for that corner. And there we go. It's claimed a victim in the form of Dario Raffaele.
I just want to make sure that I'm watching the correct race, because it seems like we're watching a rallycross race at the moment. All of the cars going off the track. I just want to confirm we're not running the rallycross configuration. Eatwell somehow managing to stay out in front, opening up a 0.85 gap between himself and Shirokov. Shirokov currently fighting with Nihart behind him. So that's definitely going to count in the favor of Eatwell. Already 3 minutes down, but 25 minutes for the total race time, so still quite a lot of racing to go. And down the Brabham Straight we go. Shirokov under pressure here from Nihart, so he's going to try and pull a little bit of a gap before they get to Druids. Nihart's having none of it, just sticking there on the rear of him, not too close, so he's not able to make a move yet. Shirokov just keeping that apex occupied, but Nihart's definitely looking for opportunity. There he is in the Audi, so he has got a bit more of straight line speed, if I remember correctly. That's the one advantage of these cars that have been on the service a bit longer. They're a bit more refined as opposed to the newer Hyundai and Hondas. And through Surtees we go, and still looking fairly calm between the 2 of them.
Well, he took victory in race 1 last time out. Commanding position already and looking to make it 2 race 1 victories for the season. Right now it's all about the battle behind him. Sherkov and Nihart currently grapping it out, and it's great to see we've got 3 different manufacturers right now on the podium. Honda from Hyundai, and then Audi, Nietzsche and Rigeri, 2 Italians in the midfield. They're swapping places. Scott Moreni still leading the AMs, however he's only got Jensen Edgerson behind him now to fight off from the chasing and pack, which is being led by Smith and Gunichi, the second and third in class right now, but Maroni does have that bit of an advantage over them, some, what, 6 or 7 seconds there. Looking to extend on that. Oh, we've lost someone else. That's Jake Ward in the Honda. He's off and just trying to think. This sounded Sterling's, I think, that isn't it, Johan?
Yeah, that looks about the era. It's his second incident for the lap. He dropped down about 8 positions a bit earlier. He was sitting in that group, the pro group behind Baroni, and dropped back behind and then had a second incident. So unfortunately not the best lap there for Ward. Now looking at Kuman here, so he's right in the middle of the pack here, kind of in the mid pack for the pro category. You see all of them just forming this drafting train as they go down Pilgrim's Drop and into Hawthorne Bend. So this is kind of the portion of the track where it gets a bit difficult to overtake. There's a lot of corners where your suspension is all loaded up. You don't really have that much maneuvering capability now through Westfield Bend. And unfortunately, one of the cars off there, that's Elnia. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong.
I think that might have been Mark Redford potentially. I think he was out there. I'm not too sure, but we'll, as you say, these guys, Will Redford right now, we saw him last week how he came through the pack and looking to do so once more, absolutely all over the back of Kevin Smart right ahead, Kieran Smart right ahead of him. Guys dueling it out as we see Ewell just setting a new fastest lap of the race. That's going to come down though. Wow, what a dominant display from him. 131.5. The closest to him last time around was 131.9, being set by Shirkov and Romy. Sample with Redford just trying to make some lunges there, just trying to do his best to distract Smart, but unable to find a way through at the moment. As they come down the hill, round Graham Hill Bend. It's good to see Redford making some progress. However, everyone just seems to be relatively happy right now, just to follow around in a train. No one really making too many moves, especially with these slightly longer races here today at Brands.
Yeah, I think all of the nerves have kind of settled down a little bit. There was one hectic first lap, so I can imagine all of the nerves just flying all over the place after that first lap, and it's taking a few laps for the drivers just to settle into a groove. Now that they have settled into a groove, although Redford definitely not happy with the position he's currently in, he wants to move up that pack. But I don't know how you're going to be able to do that with that many cars in front of you. So yeah, everyone kind of settling into the groove right now.
That's Moroni. Oh, he just about saves it there and holds on to that first place in class, 10th overall right now. He still has an advantage over Scott Smith, who's currently 12th and second in class. To see Redford, she said about where may be able to make an overtake. Well, it's looking to have a bit of a lunge there. Either just having to settle right now. So you can see ahead, Smart is trying to make progress over Darius Nihas. Here comes Redford, right, onto the rear bumper of Kieran Smart. They're going to come side by side. What can Will Redford do? Can he make a move around the outside? They've got the Audi there of Darius Nihas currently just boxing in the middle a little bit. It says still side by side now, the two Hyundais, as they try to get out down Cooper Straight. Who's going to get to Surtees? Who's going to get the best exit out of it? And it looks like it's going to be Redford. He's finally found a way past Kieran Smart, and now he begins the hunt of Darius Nihar and that Audi, who's pulled out around about 0.8 of a second as these two were dueling it out.
That was one epic overtake, definitely the way that you want to do it, but Redford has to be careful here. He needs to pull that gap before he gets to Clark Curve, otherwise he might be under pressure over the Brabham Straight and into Paddock Hill Bend. But it does look like he is finding a little bit of pace there over Smart. Shirikov in a battle with Nidart, and down Pilgrim's Drop they go, so into Hawthorne Bend. Nidart very, very close. They just sat on the rear, and he's going to give, sorry, I had the wrong corner there. We're onto the Bram Straight. So he's setting up to make a move. Not entirely sure if he's going to have the gap for it, but he's trying to position his car to the outside, getting held up at the apex by Shirikov. But now into the inside for Druids. Is he going to be able to make the pass stick? And yes, he does. So Neard moving up into second position and setting up that move very nicely through the Bram Strait. You can see the move done.
Dennis Neard making progress and getting past Cherkov. This is playing right into the hands of Eatwell. The Honda driver now pulled up nearly 3 seconds gap over these two as they were battling out. As you see, talking of battles, talking of Neharts, well, it's none of the Neharts. This time it's Darius as he's dueling out. Will Redford, and look who's come along for the fight. It's Kieran Smart, and Redford could end up losing a place while he was on the attack as they're side by side through Hawthorne Bend, and Redford just about holds on to the position somehow. This is where he needs to be really, really careful, because where he's trying to make progress and get past Darius Nehart, he could well end up losing a position to Kieran Smart, who's equally just on fire as much as Redford is right now.
Yeah, he even had a bit of trouble being held up behind Smart when he was battling with one of the other cars. So he really needs to be careful here, but that's kind of the risk being in this tightly bound pack, although it has spread out a little bit now. But being this close to other cars, one small mistake or one mistake from the car in front of you that's holding you up, and that's your position lost. So you really need to try and get things done as quickly as possible, and this is possibly into the inside of Druids. Redford decides better of it, so he's going to stick behind Smart. Now looking here at Romy into Graham Hill Bend, and he still has a bit of work to do with Kuman in front of him. I think that's how you pronounce the Dutch name. And into Surtees they go, so he's just keeping that, just keeping behind the car there. Now Needart here under pressure from Redford.
See, about further down the field as the Honda there of Kindness just trying to find a way past the Hyundai of Adam Coles. It'd be interesting to see what sort of progress he can make. Coles is already up 7 places. Biggest riser so far is Glasgow. He's up some 14 places, currently occupying 18th position in the Audi. There he is, and he's right over the back of Dominguez, fellow Audi driver. Sure, if he's already made it 14, why not go for the 15th and make some more progress as he heads up through the field? Russian looking to emulate fellow countryman Cherkov, who's making good progress himself, despite losing out to Nihart initially a little bit there. Cherkov, we've seen great things from already this season. He's already been on the podium, onto the podium in race 2 last time out at Silverstone. We see now right onto the attack, and this could well be his best chance. Is he going to sit behind it? No, he's not. He's going to head in to try and sneak up the inside into turn 1. He has to back out of it slightly, hoping to push Dominguez. Won't just unsettle him and get the better drive up the hill towards Druids. And Glashkov on the inside, and they nearly touch there as they round Druids. And who's going to get the best exit? Well, it's going to be Glashkov, and he's got ahead of Dominguez up into 17th. That's 15 places the Russian has already made up.
That's bloody impressive. Needart trying to defend from Redford here, and just up the hill they go through Hawthorne Bend, I think, and side by side. So Needart on the inside, he has to be careful that he doesn't get turned into. So Redford getting ahead. Needart deciding he doesn't want to battle with him, but he needs to be careful. He's under pressure from Smart and Baroni behind him. Smart just sitting right there on the bumper, and he does have a straight lining up in front of him now. So they're going to make the drive through Clark Curve onto the Bram Strait, and Smart is very, very close to the back of Needart's car. So he needs to be very careful here. There is a possible attack coming in here. Baroni is looming in the background there, but deciding to let the pros fight it out. He doesn't want to have any part of this. Smart deciding not to make the move. He didn't have enough overlap there. So to Druids they go, and you just see the pack of cars there in front of them. So much, I don't want to say traffic in front of them, but so many cars in front of them. Possibly great to keep a bit of a slowdown there, but Needhart doing very well to keep Smart behind him there. I can only imagine the amount of stress seeing someone that close in your rearview mirrors.
He's literally sat right on his bumper. Saying, well, Redford, Neidhart and Smart were all battling out. Slam Maroney, the Audi, just in the back of this group there to catch right up onto the back of this train. They occupying 10th place overall, but leading in amps right now. Smith and Gunichi rounding out the podiums in amp. They're 12th and 13th. A bit of a battle. These guys need to work together. They're 6 seconds behind Jensen Andrewsons. He's currently in 11th for Hyundai. And a little bit off the pace compared to that group we were just watching previously of Redford, Neidhart, Smart and Maroney. See Smith coming under the pressure right now from the Italian duo just behind him, Gunichi and Rigeri. Rigeri, just see him, he's got Magnus and Hubler all over the back of him as well. Battles up and down the field. So many of our drivers couldn't manage to. He's as close as he's ever been to the back end of Rigeri. Not going to be close enough for a move surely into Paddock Hill. But having said that, we've seen some big lunges on the brake. But Rigeri just still holding on to that position right now. Just looking to see, just settle down a little bit. Only 15 minutes completed. Top 10 right now are Eatwell, Dennis Neidhart, Cherkov rounding out your podium. Hutchison, Coman, Romy, Redford, Darius Neidhart, Kieran Smart and Maroney rounding out the top 10. Obviously Maroney leading in amps with Smith and Gunichi. Well, lifts second for now, but Gunichi is absolutely all over the back of him. Moving left and right, really trying to distract the Scot right now. Trying to find his way past that Hyundai that's feels like it's holding him up a little bit for the moment, but Gunichi needs to find a way past safely and cleanly. She want to make progress and try in these last 9 minutes that are left in race 1. Try and move up through the field. Now, not worth mentioning, that top 12 are inverted from race 2 to form the grid. So as it stands at the moment, Scott Smith will hold on to the podium as we see Darius Neidhart just coming onto the inside there, having to defend from Kieran Smart, and Maroney now wanting a bit of the action, getting involved with these two, just sitting behind initially, looking to try and pick up some scraps as these two really battled it out. And Kieran Smart likewise trying to find his way past Darius Neidhart, almost forming a bit of a roadblock and hugging the apex, so he's slowing up to prevent any progress from Kieran Smart and allow the Scottish driver through. What can Maroney do? Well, he's got a great launch there out of Graham Hill Bend, and he could be up to make up another position as he heads up into 9th, and he's got ahead. A great move there from the AM driver, making great progress. And what can he do now? I mean, Kieran Smart's going to be left licking his wounds there as we see Redford try and head round the outside, has to back out of it there against Romy. And now he's got the switch back, or has he on him? Romy just holding on there somehow, that outside line, and carrying all the momentum through. They come round Sheens, and the short run down to Sterling's. We don't see any move here, but I tell you what, Redford, he is really pushing that Hyundai and looking really aggressive right now, Johan.
Redford is painfully close there to the backside of Romy. So they are near closing up on the straight here, so onto the Brame straight, and this is very close. So he's definitely got the full effect of the draft here. Romy, of course, painfully aware he's not defending the inside, so Redford not deciding to attack there. Might be stronger through other areas of the track like Surtees. So yeah, Romy just keeping Redford in tow at the moment. Redford just hoping for a mistake from Romy here. Unfortunately, not getting anything. So now into Surtees we go, and you see Redford taking a wide line, trying to dive up the inside, not really finding the drive or the gap that you want. Just kind of looking for a bit of a opening there, not finding it. And down Pilgrim's Drop they go now. So Redford looking for each and every gap that they can find. Looks like a back market there.
Collishaw, I think they're coming past, yeah. Yes, that's Collishaw, yeah, they've just cleared there in the Hyundai, orange Hyundai, and you see Redford now right all over the back of Romy, the Audi driver. Defend as best as he can from the advances of the young Brit, trying to find his way through. It's a bit of a battle since the Hyundai's in front of him, Hutchison and Coleman. Half an eye on that one. As always, action up and down the field here in this championship. It's hard to know where to look at sometimes. Well, he's still well and truly cleared. He's checked out right at the front. Got 2.6 second advantage over Dennis Niehart in second place. Sherkov still holding on to the last of the podium positions. What progress can Redford make? We know he's got raw pace. He qualified in third. For that turn 2 instant right where we are now as Redford heads to the inside, and that's going to be through with a bit of a bump. He makes the room where it wasn't fully there, and Romy has to concede the position. Redford up into 6th.
Yeah, no, in open wheelers, you've always got to leave the space, but it seems like in touring cars, you have to create that space for yourself. So yeah, we go up into Druids, and you can see Redford just positioning himself for a nice run there into the inside line. So onto the inside he goes, forces the other car towards the outside, and he's got the overtake done. So that is Romy dispatched by Redford, and you can see Redford already putting a little bit more of a gap that was between himself and between Romy and Redford a bit earlier. Hutchison in a battle here with Kuman, and the battle hasn't pushed them too far back, but they do have Redford that's looming there in the background. So they need to get their work done as quickly as possible, because they are going to be adding a third party to the mix very, very soon.
Redford closing right up onto these two, and the more that they battle, it just literally plays right into the hands of Will Redford as he hunts down the fellow Hyundai drivers as they come across the line to head out onto lap 14. Long left now. So just over 3 minutes, and what can Coleman do? Hutchison defending for his life right now. Say, look, you see that gap. Grizzly shutting us. Oh, there's contact. Coleman forces the move. Hutchinson pushed out wide. Here comes Redford. Coleman's onto the grass there, but Hutchison, I think he's just about going to hold off the advances of Redford. But Redford, he's got the momentum carrying him through, as he's been picking up all these places. He's been on the attack pretty much all race since that turn 2 incident, and here he comes. He's on the right hand side of your screen right now. This is the drag race on between the two Hyundais, and Hutchinson is going to have to concede. He just pulls back into the slipstream. He moves around trying to find a way past, but Redford has secured that 5th position, and Romy's right up into the mix as well now. The Audi up onto the back of this train, but this is helped Coleman. He's pulled away from the clutches of Redford and Hutchinson and given him some fresh air. We know the pace that Redford's got. We know he can close it up. He hasn't gone long left, but he's got a chance, and he knows it. And can he claim another position? It remains to be seen.
So Redford, the man on a mission at the moment. Equal just checking out in front. You can just see Niedort so far down the road. But yeah, Redford, absolute superb drive up the field. I mean, you can see he's a man with absolutely nothing to lose. He's just going for those gaps and really asserting his car on the track, so making sure that he can get those overtakes done. Oh, and that is Kuman, I think.
Kuman's gone. He's had an instance somewhere out on track. Let's take a look into turn 1 here. So Paddock Hill Bend. It looks like he's lost it on his own account. I think it looks. Oh, I'm not sure what that caused, because that was a sharp left turn he took there. When he didn't clip the grass or anything. It was just whether that's a hardware failure, maybe potentially. There you go, Han.
Yeah, that's a steering wheel failure. I've seen that a few times. People just kind of veering off into the walls. But yeah, that is very unlucky there for Kuman. And you can see, the wheel just absolutely immediately 45 degrees to the left. That's he's going to be kicking himself over that. That's not his fault. That's definitely equipment, but shame that you've got a feel for the poor guy.
back up as there's a battle going on in the midfield. Di Felipe is just making past his fellow coach Maniti to get himself up into 19th for now, but look at how they're all squabbling behind. You can practically throw a blanket over them. On the right hand side, that's Kindness in the Honda. He's looking to make some progress, and he does. And in the space of 2 corners, Maniti loses 2 places, and he could even potentially lose another one right now. As Belny, he's on the attack, and he's going to get to the inside first. But what can Belny do? Can he make his way through? It's going to be tight through here. He's out onto the grass there. It's Maniti. Belny has to just yield a little bit there, and Maniti just about holds on to that, prevents losing 3 places in as many corners.
Yeah, no, that's so close. I was fearing for a collision at any second. That's just so close through Hawthorne Bend and that whole sector through there. But Belny now trying to look for any kind of opportunity, so possibly going down the inside, but that is covered off by Maniti, and Maniti now going up towards Fields.
We've got a battle looming back at the front. Hutchison and Redford all over one another right now. This is on to the last lap. Not long left. Of course, these two elevated due to that failure from Coman. Hardware failure. Redford hasn't got long now left to hold on. Question is, can he hold on as Eatwell coming round the final corner onto Bram Straight, and with a flash of the lights, he's going to take the victory here of race 1 of round 2 of the Apex Racing League British Touring Car Series. And a great victory for him. Dennis Nihar, he comes home in second, Sherkov in third. That's Eatwell's second victory of the championship so far. Redford, I think he's holding, he's held on to 4th place. Hutchison had self a 5th. And great to see 3 different manufacturers making up the podium. Moroni, he's taken the victory in AM. You just see battles going right up until the finish. Can Kindness do? He's flashing the lights, deliberately trying to distract Di Felipe's. But it looks like the Italian's going to hold on to it for Hyundai, and he's going to bring home that car in 19th for Scania Endurance Motorsport. This is it's happening right in the background there. Maniti just about holds on to that one and holds off the advances of Belny. Fights right up until the dying seconds here in race 1. Smith and Gudici round out the podium in the AM category. Now Gudici, interesting, he's going to start on pole. He came home in 12th position overall. The top 12 are inverted for race 2, so we're going to take the race results from here to form the grid, except for the top 12 where they will be reversed. So Gudici and Smith will be on the front row, the 2 AM drivers, with Adjusons and Moroni just behind them.
Yeah, no,
wow,
You probably want to take a breath after that one.
Well, it's yet again, this championship not failing to deliver whatsoever.
Yeah, I think at the front, I mean, I'd say Eatwell definitely checked out quite a bit. But Redford, I mean, what a drive from him there. It's just, I mean, he took so many positions, and he really had to push for those overtakes. He definitely made those opportunities for himself. Also, superb drive from Moroni, keeping in touch with all of those drivers, all of those pro drivers, even beating some of them and staying at the front of the AM field. So, definite superb job for him there. Bit of a pity about some of the drivers getting taken out in lap 1, but I mean that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're in touring cars.
Definitely. Let's just take you through your classified results from race 1. Well, taking the victory, that's his second victory of the championship so far. Dennis Nihart in second, and Sherkov rounding out your podium overall. Redford, you do have to wonder, if it wasn't for that incident in turn 2, where would he have come? And Hutchinson coming home in 5th. For Romy, he was 6th. Darius Nihart 7th. Kieran Smart, he was 8th. Moroni, he was a winner in AM category and 9th overall for all. Jetson Adjusons, he was 7th. Smith and Gudici in 11th and 12th, and 2nd and 3rd in class. Ruggieri, Blashkov, Manners, Hubler, Dominguez, Wines, and De Filipis and Kindness take you up to 20th position. Then we've got Maniti, Belny, Reftea, Ward, Lewandowski, Nevery, Brown-Clist, Collishaw, and Jay Walsh taking you up to 30th. Of course, those latter two being one lap down and starting the cars off that are finished a lap down. And Coles, likewise, and Ganoli of being one lap down. Fredo Koopman, after hardware failure, finished 2 laps down in 33rd. With Mark Redford, we lost 12 laps ago, retiring the car. David Gill, 15 laps ago. Dara Adjacent, 16 laps ago. And Brian Force, unfortunately, didn't make the grid. We're just going to head into a quick ad break, and we'll join you back on the other side for race 2 here at Brands Hatch. Welcome back. The driver's just currently on a little bit of a practice session, not long left of that one. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications to stay up to date every time we go live here at Apex Racing TV. Stay up to date with us on social media. Twitter, we are at Apex Racing TV. Instagram, Apex Racing TV, and Facebook is facebook.com/Apex Racing TV. Now, Johan, nice little bit of trivia for you about brands. Now, did you know that the first race proper was an unusual 4-mile match race between cyclists and cross-country runners in 1928? Now, the interesting one was the runners ended up taking the victory, although they did have a big advantage, they're having Australian world champion Jackie Hubin among their numbers. Nice little useless fact for you there about Brands Hatch.
I remember reading something about that foot race, but I didn't realize that there was this specific track. But yeah, definitely quite interesting.
Okay, it's the track's it's largely remained unchanged across the years. Of course, the GP section that was added there, they got around planning permission issues by following a dirt bike track, which forms up from pretty much from when they turn left and head out onto the GP circuit, pretty much all the way round to the start-finish straight. But it's one of the old-time classic national circuits, is Brands Hatch, and you see why from the great racing that we've had so far tonight, why it is loved by so many. But just heading across into the race session now. Let's take a look at the grid for race 2 of the evening. Gudici and Smith starting on the front row. The two AM drivers, Jensen Adrissons, he's on the second row with our winner in AM from race 1, Maroney. Cameron Smart has Darius Neihart alongside the company. The fourth row is Romney and Hutchison. Will Redford has Shirkov on the fifth row. Dennis Neihart and winner of race 1, Eatwell, form up the sixth row. They've got Ruggieri and Glashkov, Manners and Hubler. Pedro Dominguez got Stuart Wines for company. De Filipis and Adam Kindness make up the 10th row of the grid and take you up to 20th. Paolo Miniti has Belny alongside him. Raffatea and Ward take up 23rd and 24th. And then we've got Lewandowski, Nevery, Brown and Cliss, Collishaw and Walsh. Adam Coles as the Italian Ganoli. Fredo Koeman and Mark Redford make up 33rd and 34th. Gil Adriansons and Brian Vorst round out your grid as we get ready to go racing once more here at Brands Hatch in race 2. And what start can Gunichi get in the Audi? Well, it's an absolutely blinding start. A commanding start from him, and they're going to go 3 wide just behind them as they head through turn 1. Who can get through first of all in the fight to get to the apex? And Adriansons, he's going to get ahead as the whole field look to come through and everyone getting away relatively safely. They keep half an eye on Will Redford, Eatwell and Dennis Niehart, who are currently in 7th, 9th and 10th positions respectively right now as they come down through the circuit. There's someone just running a bit wide. I didn't quite catch who that was there, Johan. I'm sure if you did.
So I unfortunately just missed him. I think that might have been Belny that came off the track there. Yeah, and Grayson moving into the lead. Caducci unfortunately not able to keep up with the pace of the pros, but he's got his teammate Maroney just behind him. So those two will probably be meeting at some time soon, but Smart is definitely looking for a way to get past Maroney here. He's got Smith pressuring him from behind, so he wants to get that overtake done as soon as possible. Meanwhile, out in front, Gudici not letting go of Andres.
Yes, and Adriansons has had a blinding start, making him 2 places to take the lead, as we just see the .exe cars there running a bit wide. I think that was Dennis Niehart there. So already up 3 places. Eatwell, likewise, he's at 3 places, so is Redford. So he said, oh, and there's big contact there. And Nevry in the Honda loses it. The AMP driver backs it in to the exit of the corner. And a big incident for him there on the end of lap 1. Possibly even going to be a retirement as he lost it out into Clark Curve. I think a bit of assistance as they come round Druids once more. There's a bit of contact in the background there. I think just managed to catch it. Not sure who that was. I think it might be Mark Redford potentially. Everyone just streaming through right now. And Adriansons still leading. Will Redford making progress. He's up a position. Likewise, Dennis Niehart. Got Smith dropping down there. There's Niehart and Hutchison fought out once more on the run through Pilgrim's Drop.
I don't know if you know, but Maroney was off the track there through Druids, so unfortunately losing out quite a few positions there. You can see him in 8th, and oh no, that's just commentator's grace.
That is definitely, after a blinding race in race 1, taking the victory, Maroney in a whole world of pain right now. He falls right down through the field, and let's take a little look at the replay of how that would have unfolded, Johan.
So I just saw from the corner of my eye, he flicked the wheel from side to side, so he kind of lost. Oh, that's contact. So meeting the car there on the right hand side, not exactly sure which car, and he tried to correct it. He was off into the grass, and that was all she wrote.
It's definitely an entertaining race 2 once more. There's Romney, he's made it past Darius Niehart. I've got another replay. Let's take a look at what's happened here to Gudici. To see he lost a couple of places. See just what happened to him. Oh, just losing the rear end there. So many people have done that on that grass between Sheen and Sterling's there, Johan.
Yeah, no, it's a very difficult place to go off. I mean, you're running so wide through Sheen, and then you just touch that grass and look at it in the wrong way, and you're off the track. So unfortunately, Gudici not really finding enough track for him to make that corner. Oh, and we've got Maniti also off the track. That looked like it was out of Graham Hill Bend. I'm not exactly sure if that was contact or something, but unfortunately, this car is going very slow. So possible damage there.
Definitely really suffering, and Adriansons, tell you what, he's having an absolute blinding race too. Taking the commanding lead, pulling out 6 attempts over Kieran Smart, but Redford isn't too far behind. He's looking for redemption after race 1 and looking to get onto the podium once more. His best finish so far in the championship is 2nd, and be looking to go one better here today at Brands Hatch, as with just over under 5 minutes completed. Atchison leads from Smart, Redford third, Hutchison, Nehart, Eatwell, Romy, Darius Nehart is 8th, Scott Smith and Igor Shukov is rounding out your top 10. And a little bit more of a calmer start compared to what we had in race 1.
Yeah, now you've got those pro drivers kind of rushing through from behind some of the AM drivers. You can just see a lot of places being traded there right at the start. With these reverse grids, you're always going to get chaos. I mean, it's awesome for us to watch the whole spectacle, but it is immensely stressful for all of the drivers involved in it. I mean, normally you're not really as familiar with these stronger drivers. I'm going to interrupt myself. Will Redford trying to send it up the inside Gortham Bend. Is he going to find the space next to Smart? He's pulled alongside him, so he has earned the space through Westfield Bend. And is he going to push through? Yes, he is, but he's gone very wide on the track. Is he going to keep up his speed? Smart just sticking to the rear of him. Through Sheen they go, and here's where you can kind of go off on the grass and lose control. None of that for these drivers. Andreasen now finding Redford right behind him. Smart losing out a bit of time to Redford. And we go down the run towards Clark Curve onto the ground straight. And Eatwell is also looking for a little bit of action here behind Needart. And also down the straight they go. So possible overtake opportunity if he can get the overlap, but there isn't too much of a closing speed. Meanwhile behind him, Romy and Needart also battling it out into Hill Bend. To Druid we go, and a little bit calmer than it was down the straight.
It's definitely, and Atchison still leading from Redford on this spectator change. Sherkov just making his way past Smith. So those two trade places once more, and Smith just getting back ahead of the Russian. Sherkov not having the best of race 2, unable to make progress so far. Like Will Eatwell, who's made up 6th place into 6th, but best performances so far has definitely come from Will Redford, who's going for the lead, and he's going to make the move, and it's getting so tight between himself and Smart. And Adrian says, but Redford has come out on top in the battle of the Hyundais, and he's gone ahead and taken the lead.
I would love to see the stats about how many overtakes Redford has made through Hawthorne Bend, because that's probably 3 by now, that I've seen at least. So he's really proving it wrong, and just making himself known through that part of the track. So nothing hindering him at the moment. 8th position gained, superb start of the race for him. He's still got more than half of it left, so he's going to have to work for it. But things are looking good for Redford at the moment. Andreasen having to fend off Smart, and currently not under too much pressure, but he had a bit of a stressful moment there in the second half of the lap as Smart was almost closing in on him. Meanwhile, Needart and Eatwell both battling it out. They're currently being held up by Hutchinson, and also Needart here battling out with Romy. Romy making the overtake there through Graham Hill Bend as they make the run up to Surtees. Needart not letting him go though. Up the inside onto Surtees, and this is a brave spot to do it, but he is going to try and go for it. Unfortunately not the speed that he wanted, so he falls behind Romy, and they make the run down Pilgrim's Drop.
So tight. Getting more great racing here in race 2. Oh, we didn't really not expect it, as we just see Hutchison now has got Nehart and Ewell tucked up right behind him. And who's going to come out on this battle between the 3 different manufacturers, 3 completely different cars? They really start to fight it out. And they need to be careful as well, because this is really slowing them up. All this scrapping, and they're going to allow the other guys in front of them just to get away a little bit and start to really make some progress. They need to start to almost work together a little bit. You see Hudson just ahead of them, and they've got the Audi in between them. That's one of the back markers there. I think that's Pedro Dominguez just in the middle of them, and they're hoping to dispatch of him relatively quickly and easily as they come round Jewis, and you can see the 2 Hyundais there of Smart And Edgerton once again just battling it out. Smart has finally made his way past the Belgian driver, himself up into second. Stands at the moment. This will be Smart's best finish, well, equal best finish of the season. He's already had 2 second places so far. Edgerton, after that great start, taking the lead, is now down to 3rd.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tough first half of the lap for him, getting overtaken in Druids by Smart, and then kind of getting that contact through Surtees. You can see him giving the position back. It almost seemed like he backed off a little bit. Nidot here, he was still pressuring him from behind, but not finding the gap. It's one thing to start the race and kind of lead it from the start. It's another to battle through the pack. And you can just see how difficult it is. I mean, someone that was dominating the race before is really struggling to find the gap past Nidot there.
Definitely really is. If those made progress, he's definitely not made as good of progress as what Redfern has, and definitely feeling like it's being held up right now with the Honda drivers. You see Scott Smith in the Hyundai. He's got Regari right behind him. They now come out onto Bradman straight across the start-finish line and head down through Paddock Hill. Really an overtake over here, but to head up the hill, Sherkov looking on the attack. He's going to head to the inside and head past Regari. And that's got himself up into 10th place.
That's how important Paddock Hill Bend is to your lap. If you can get that exit done very nicely, that opens up so many opportunities and to do it for you. Regari here under pressure from Ward. Ward having a bit of a rough first race. Having those 2 incidents in the same lap, but he has done a lot better in this race, keeping the hold of 12. And he's got the amateur driver in front of him that he needs to get past. But at the moment, there's not enough of a gap, or a small enough gap between them for that to be a possibility.
Scott Smith leading the way in at Gary in second. Desperate to try and find his way past Sherkov. However, he'll need to have Jake Ward work with him if he wants to work together and try and close that gap up ahead of them. But these guys battling over the last place of the podium in it's Gudici holding onto that position right now, but Swindness and Hubler right all over the back of the Audi driver, Gudici. Fascinating battle being played out right now. Ward has managed, just ahead of him, Ward has managed to get past Regari, himself up into 11th place overall, or has he? As we see the Italian fighting back into turn 1, holding that inside line, hugging it. If he can get the drive up the hill, which I don't think he's going to do. Ward just using all the power and the straight line speed that Honda's got as Winnes and Gudici trade places. But if he almost backdoors there once more, the Audi and the Hyundai swapping places as each yard passes. And it's absolutely fascinating stuff. And here comes Hula. Want to get it? Oh no! That's out onto the grass there. Lost one of them. It's all happening here right now in race 2. Gloves are definitely off, and that's Gudici losing an absolute ton of place from what was a promising position.
Yeah, this is not the race for the Berselia racing team, so that's Gudici and Moroni. But Eatwell eating his heart out here, so currently behind Hutchison, has this bit of Nidot, but not really. Nidot just sitting there on the back of his car. That is way too close for comfort. So much trust between these drivers. So onto the main straight they go. Eatwell now at risk here from Nidot behind him. He is going to have to run defensive on the inside, and he does. Resumes the racing line once he's happy that Nidot is not going to try any funny business. But well, now being held up by Hutchinson. Into Druids they go. You can see Eatwell just parking the car on the apex. They are not able to really carry as much momentum through as he would want. Now through Graham Hill Bend. Not much of opportunities. Got to wait for either a mistake from Hutchinson or Eatwell, something holding up either of the drivers into 30s, and just biding his time, pressurizing the drivers, trying to create an opportunity for himself, but not really finding it at the moment.
It's Nihal. So you're all over the back of Eatwell right now. Race 2 has been the story of the Hyundais locking out the top 4 positions. And Eatwell and Nihal really want to get in the mix of that, but they won't get in the mix of it if they start scrapping like this. And Nihal almost finding a way past Eatwell there. Eatwell applying the power, maintaining that 5th position for now. The way that Nihal is absolutely all over the back of him. You have to wonder if he can try and make it through, but Eatwell really needs to utilise where Dennis Nihal just backs out a little bit, the German there, having to. Eatwell really needs to get into the back of Mark Hutchinson and clear him to try and make some progress and take the fight to the top 3 of Redford, Smart and Jensen Adriansons.
Yeah, it's been a hard battle all the way through the race. Eatwell knows the importance here of clearing Hutchinson, but he's not finding the speed up into Druids. You can see absolutely how close he's sitting onto that bumper. He wants to get past him so badly, but just not finding the opportunity. The light's also now fading on the race here, so just about 9 minutes left, I think, and we are nearing the end of the race. Eatwell now through 30s and still stuck behind Hutchinson. He's finding a bit of speed on him, but he's not finding an opportunity. So these 3 cars kind of stuck together at the moment. Hutchinson, Eatwell and Nidart.
And it's got to be with the way the pace he's got and the aggressiveness that he's really applying onto the back of Hutchinson. Money's got to be on Eatwell surely here to come out victorious in this three-way battle over 4th place, and Hutchinson having to defend for his life for yet another race. Eatwell, of course, winner in race 1, not having it all his own way here in race 2. Just behind them we see Romy and another Nihal. It's Darius Nihal this time. A little bit of a scrap between the 2 Audi drivers, and Darius Nihal just trying to find a way up the inside, just had to back out of it, really prodding and poking at the back of the Italian there, but just heading back up to the other Nihal. This is Dennis just in front of him. Eatwell trying to find a way around the outside. Is he going to look for the switchback down the hill on the run up to Druids? Can he get the move done? He's going to have to try and find his way right around the outside, but Hutchinson just covers off the inside line once more, blowing up on the apex just to dent any sort of progress right now that Eatwell is trying to make in the attempt to try and find his way past.
Eatwell now trying to squeeze his way onto the inside of 30s. That might open up the opportunity there for Nidart. Hutchinson losing 2 positions in one corner. That's not gone his way. Eatwell is going to try and run off in the sunset. That was quite the corner there. Nidart still not letting Eatwell go, so still right behind him. I don't think you're supposed to bump draft through the corners, but that's almost what they're doing at the moment. Kind of forming one single vehicle around the corners. And that was definitely a very solid overtake there for Eatwell. So what do you think?
You just see there is just ran it in too deep, and that's what cost him his 2 places, and pretty much just gifted the position to Eatwell. And Nihal said, oh, there's a great big gap there, I'm going to follow Eatwell through, thank you very much, and moved up a position as well. With about 7 minutes left here in the race to your top 7 right now. Redford, Smart, Atchison, Eatwell, Dennis Nihal, Hutchinson and Romney, Darius Nihal, Shirkov and Scott Smith. Scott Smith leading the way in AMS. Gary and Swindness 2nd and 3rd in class. As we just see Rafatea right now, and he's trying to find his way past Adriansons. Can he get the move done? And you see Paul Collishaw, obviously one that we've seen here on Apex Racing TV, just how unlucky he is in numerous series, and he's looking to try to make some progress and try and sneak up the inside there. Able to quite get it done, just trying to follow through there. But oh, there's contact! There's contact, the Audi's gone, oh no! And then Coles and Rafatea. Coles just a party there, came round the corner to find a sideways Rafatea. Oh, with that front bumper gone, that's going to be a massive dent on his straight line speed, and potentially he might even be looking at bent steering as well there.
Yeah, no, that was a fairly hefty contact that might mess up his alignment, but I mean, that was very unfortunate. I'm not exactly sure who turned into who there. But someone was definitely sneaking up the inside there. Rafael now.
There's almost contact between himself and De Felipe's. He's just behind him. And right now, he is forming a real roadblock to the cars behind them. There's all this contact in the rear. That's when the Hyundai's off wide. That's Belny. And he's not going to be happy. I'm sure there'll be a flash of the lights in demonstration. But how that all unfolded there through Sheen. And we knew with just how closely all these drivers are following, they run the risk of incidents like that, Johan.
Definitely agree. Ooh, and a bit of pushing and shoving there. That's one way to get around Druid. Maroney trying to recover a bit from what happened early in the race, but it has been a bit rough around the edges. Winners in front of him. Earlier during this race, Winners was showing he's kind of capable of drifting in iRacing. Someone should really tell him that's something that's he's not allowed to do. But he kept some good control of his car earlier during the race. Now, though, under pressure here from Koeman trying to make the overtake on the inside of Halton Bend, still side by side. This is going to get hectic very soon.
Oh, you see Koeman just had to back out of there after initially banging doors with Winness. Some Hyundai drivers. This is just giving Maroney a little bit of breathing space right now. Winness and Maroney battling out of that last podium position with Ian Ams. But Maroney just about able to hold on to it after coming under that initial pressure from Winness. And he is really hotting up now as we head into the last 3 minutes of racing in race 2. And what an absolute cracker of a round we've had once more. Will Redford, well, we've hardly mentioned him since start. He just ran away at the front. He's got a 5-second advantage after making 8 places so far. And looks destined to take the victory. So far, the best he's had is a second. He's had a 3rd place as well in the previous round. Yet to have a victory. You feel like he's always had it within him and just needs to bring the car home. Good old gap between himself and Smart and Adriansons, who are relatively close together in that battle for 2nd place. Just see him in the background heading through. Redford not long left now just to bring that car home and secure his first victory in the championship. And he'll be absolutely ecstatic by that one. If all these 3 drivers can just bring it home, it'll be a podium lockout here in race 2 for Hyundai. But here comes Eatwell. He's on the attack. He can smell that place on the podium, and he'll be desperately wanting it. He's got a bit of an advantage to try and cut down between himself and Adrianson to around about 0.6 of a second. But if anyone can do it, Eatwell can in that Honda. We head out onto. Gonna be. I'm just having a little look. I think we might gonna have one more lap after this. I think. Just looking at the lap times, it's gonna be. Yes, we will do. Which is gonna play right into the hands of Eatwell, looking to catch up on these 2 battling Hyundais. Smart, after making progress and eating up Adriansons early on, is now coming under pressure from the Belgium driver in 3rd place. But just look at how Eatwell and Neidhart are closing in behind, and they are really working together to really try and close up onto these 2 guys in front of them who are holding on to the last 2 places on the podium. And look at the gap now. It's down to 0.4 of a second between Eatwell and Adriansons. Eatwell is on an absolute flyer as he's absolutely wringing the neck out of that Honda Civic in these dying laps.
When we put one of the drivers off the track, I think that might have been one of the back markers, but the battle goes on. So it's Gunelli, unfortunately, having a bit of an incident there that looks like almost not Sheen's, but Westfield Ben. So the battle goes on. Smart still ahead of Adrianson, but Eatwell now right on the bumper there, and battling for third position. So he's going to try and look for an opportunity, possibly make one for himself, and see if he can regain the position. So looks like one lap of racing left. That
Yeah, there we go. There's the white flag. 4 cars battling it out for the last 2 places on the podium. Smart leading from Edgerton, Eatwell and Neidhart right now. However, you bet your ball and dollar, it sure as eggs is not going to finish like that. There's going to be a right fight right to the finish line as we're heading into the cover of darkness here at Brands Hatch in race 2. Redford is well clear. He's not going to be getting involved with these guys, and he looks to bring the car home and secure that victory. But now halfway through the lap, nearly. Let's see Eatwell out onto the grass. They're just pushing every last bit of track and momentum, trying to carry it through as he tries to get himself up onto the podium. And the 2 Hyundais almost working together a little bit, but they're not all 3 of them are bumper to bumper. I think Dennis Neidhart, he's out of this battle. It's whether Eatwell could get past Adrian, since he's really, really close now. He's closer than he's ever been. The gap down to 2 tenths, but equally, Adrianson's, he's only 2 tenths behind Smart. As here comes Eatwell, he's looking for the switch back on Jensen Adrianson's. Can he get it done? Oh no! Neidhart, he's off into the barrier, he's gone! And now it's a three-way battle for those last 2 places on the podium. Will Redford takes the victory here in race 2. And a great win for him, but who's going to come across the line? And it looks like, he's not going to be able to quite do it. Wow, an absolute grandstand finish here in race 2. Smart holds on to second, Anderson holds on to third, and Eastwell in the end has to settle on for the 4th place. As we see, oh, that's Dennis Neidhart. It's all come apart for him. As he tries to drag that car home. He's got a broken front left suspension. Oh, absolutely gutting for him as Colin Shaw just runs it in a bit deeper, loses a couple of places there right at the depth. As Colin Shaw run out? He's run out of fuel.
something that you don't see very often. I was wondering because that car didn't look damaged or anything, but a bit of a rough end of the race, both for Collishaw and Neidhart.
Collishaw lost. He lost about 5 places there. He's come home in 26th place. Dennis Neidhart in the end, 28th. After what was an absolutely great race from him, and he looked destined for that 5th place. Wow. Just to keep you up to date with that one, Scott Smith took the victory. Ruggieri and Moroni rounded out your podium, and they came home in 10th, 11th and 12th places overall. Congratulations, Redford, on his first victory of the season. And if his performances in rounds 1 and 2 are anything to go by, I'm sure it'll be the first of many, many more.
I'm not a superstitious man, but I got really worried when you started talking about this kind of being his first opportunity for a win. I was just sitting there thinking that Redford is probably just wishing that you don't talk about this if he's watching this back after the fact. But man, that's one way to deliver.
Definitely, it was a convincing win. He got to the front early on, made it after making 8 positions. Let's just bring you through your classified results here. Race 2 of the evening. Will Redford taking the victory. Smart and Adrianson's rounding out the podium in a lockout for Hyundai here in race 2. Ewell in the end had to settle for 4th place. Hutchison 5th. Arias Neidhart, he came home 6th for Audi. Shirkov, Romney, Ward making up to 9th place. Scott Smith 10th overall and winner in NAM, with Ruggieri and Moroni finishing just behind him on the road, and 2nd and 3rd in AM. Chip Winness was 13th. Meadow Koeman, he was 14th. Hubler 15th. Ara Adriansons, Raftea, Gill, the De Filipis and Manners takes you up to 20th place. And then we've got Lavdowski, Belny, Coles, Mark Redford, Glist, Collishaw, who ran out of fuel right at the end there, he would have finished much higher up. He'd be absolutely gutted by that one. Maybe not expecting to the race to go that extra lap. And that's what's caught him out. Maniti, Dennis Niehart, after he saw that's such a lucky incident out on the exit of Sterling's there. After running so strong, has to settle for 28th in the end. I think he had to tow the car back to the pit. He's actually finished a lap down. Likewise did Glashkov as well. Brown, Nevery, Walsh, Kindness, and Gudici finishing 5 laps down. And then Godinelli, Dominguez, and Vorsall all retiring from the race. Wow.
That's I must say that's getting a bit closer to what happened in Silverstone, but sure, what an evening for these guys.
Definitely. Let's have a chat to our winner in race 2 with his first victory of the season. It's Will Redford. Wow, I bet it feels good to after a second and a third place in the championship so far to get your first victory under your belt.
Yeah, it's always nice, especially only in the second round. I was hoping I would be able to do it in the first race, but a bit of contact on the first lap left me quite far back, so I had a bit of work to do, passing people, a bit of elbows out as well, but at the end of the day, it's touring car racing and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I made my way back up and got a decent position for the reverse grid, so it's all about just making the moves early in the second race and trying to build that gap from there.
Obviously, you talk about that incident in race 1 at turn 2. I mean, how did that sort of leave you, a sort of feeling after that one? You'd had a great start. I think you were in third at the time from memory, and all of a sudden, through the contact, you fall right through the field.
Yeah, it was a bit. To be honest, it was frustrating because this track is very hard to pass on, especially when everyone's running such close pace and there's not much there's not big draft to draft past people down the straight. So it was frustrating, but you just got to get your head down and work with what you got. It's happened and you can't change that. So I did my best from there.
Well, of course, next time out we head to Knockhill. We're going to run the reverse version of the circuit. And another tight track there again. I'd imagine it's going to be quite similar to how it played out things today. And I'm sure you're going to be looking for a really strong qualifying next time out.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to all be completely about qualifying at Knockhill. Especially in reverse layout, you've got one place to pass if you send it in turn 1, and that's about it. So I think you're going to see quite a big train of cars.
Definitely, and congratulations on your first win of the season. That's Will Redford, our winner in race 2.
Thank you.
Let's, I think next person we'll have a bit of a chat with is second place in race 2, Johan. For yourself, it's Kieran Smart for Hyundai of Track Scotland.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome, Kieran, and congratulations on the second place in the second race. Bit of a rough first race for you, but you really performed there in the second race. 3 positions gained. You're probably very happy with that.
Yeah, it's a new kart. I usually do GT3, so it's new to me this season. So I'm still getting used to the racing, but it's really good. It's really close. There's a little bit of contact, but that's touring cars, isn't it? It's pretty fair though so far.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. There's always some rubbing with the touring car racing. Just a quick question for you. So next week we've got Knockhill, and that's kind of home grounds for you. Have you been to the circuit in person, or is it something that you still want to do?
Yeah, I've been around Knockhill a few times on a motorbike, so I know it well. A little bit different than a touring car, I suppose.
And have you done it in reverse a bit, or is that going to be a bit of a new track for you?
I haven't actually done it in real life in reverse, but I've done it in reverse in iRacing.
Okay, yeah, that's that's probably going to be an interesting one for you, kind of having seen it in the flesh and then digitally as well. Just in terms of the touring car racing, you spoke about coming from GTs. Has there been any kind of adjustments you had to make to your driving style, having to drive a bit more aggressive or a bit more defensive, and just the car in general as well?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, being front wheel drive, so the cars push a lot more. It's I quite like the challenge of them, but yeah, the racing you get away with a lot more. You get away with a lot more contact that GT3s don't really allow for. The cars are a lot more robust, so yeah, I just need to be probably a bit more elbows out and a bit more aggressive on my moves to try and make progress.
Awesome stuff, and congratulations on that second place. Any shout outs you want to make to people supporting you?
Just my teammates. Yeah, we'll see what we can do when we go to the home ground.
Best of luck for Knockhill then.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kieran, and cheers to you as well. Hope you have a good evening.
Let's have a just briefly before we head off, let's just have a chat to another one of the Track Scotland Hyundai drivers. This time within the ARMS, it's Stuart Winness, and Stuart, obviously 4th place in race 2. I mean, for yourselves at the top end of you quite often find yourself battling with the tail end of the pro category. Just what is that like for the viewers at home?
Good evening, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's quite good. It's good to get in with the pros and battle with them. Shows you the difference between ARMS and pros is not that far apart as well, so it's quite good.
Do you ever find it frustrating potentially when you've got, say, a pro driver in front of you and you can see your ARM competitors in, maybe a car ahead or two and getting away from you?
Yeah, it is quite annoying. You're like, I can get him, but sometimes he just pulls away and you're just away from it.
No worries. And we're just speaking to your teammate there, Kieran Smart, just before we were saying about Knockhill, obviously heading to your guys' home track, as it were, within iRacing, definitely. Is it a track you're looking forward to at all?
Yeah, it is a bit home territory, so it's a lot of pressure, I think, on us being Track Scotland. We're kind of throwing ourselves in there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Knockhill. It's a good little track. It's going to be quite busy with 30 plus cars going around it, so it's going to be all about qualifying and then just keeping your nose clean and watching the curbs.
Definitely going to be an intriguing race, to say the least. And before we just let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
I'll just give a shout out to fellow members of Track Scotland, as Kieran and Adam, and then probably my brother Mark. He's watching tonight, and probably my dad as well, so it's all good.
Lovely stuff. That's Stuart Winness of Track Scotland in the Hyundai. In race 2. So, Johan, oh wow, what another absolute cracker from the Apex Racing League Touring Car Britain Series.
I must say though, I didn't expect anything less. There's just so much action when you get in these touring cars. I mean, with the open wheelers, you've got some absolutely class racing going on. But with the touring car, there's just there's something for everyone. There's overtakes, there's hard passes, and all, of course, the big crashes that happen so often as well. Yeah, I must say that I'm excited to see what these guys are going to be doing at Knockhill. It's a bit more restricted, a bit more claustrophobic. All the better for us watching, but unfortunately for the drivers, a bit more stressful.
Definitely, definitely indeed. It's definitely going to be a stressful event, and just to keep you up to date of programs we've got coming up on the channel here, Apex Racing TV. So tomorrow night, myself and Austin will be covering the Wave Italy ARL Prototype Championship Round 8 from the Red Bull Ring. And then on Saturday, well, just following that broadcast, with the Radical Racing Challenge, it's Round 5 from Interlagos. That's going to be definitely a cracker to watch out for. And then on Sunday night, on Saturday night, we have got the F3 VRS Series at 8 PM GMT, which is followed at 9:45 PM GMT by Formula Renault 3.5 there at Suzuka. And then I get to enjoy myself a lot this week. It's SRF Weekend Warriors. We head to Mid-Ohio for Round 5. That's on Sunday night at 7:45 PM GMT. That's absolutely blinding series. If you love absolutely epic racing, well worth tuning out for. There's no bias there whatsoever. But myself, Johan and Samuli, is thank you very much, and we will see you in a week's time as we head to the picturesque but tight and undulating Knock Hill.